Boy, am I sick of not being able to fly. Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 12 here. Time to make a jetpack. That's basically what it comes down to. We have been running around and avoiding the jetpack for so long, and I don't know why. We really just need to get on with it. What are we missing here? So I've got this all prepared up to make each step, if I can remember the way they go. Almost there. Something like this maybe. Alright, there we go with the jetpack, and of course some armor. However that goes. There we go. So now we need to charge this guy up. And so that's what I've been working on here. In the meantime, we got this here. And that goes up there. And now we can put one of these guys in and just make a basic machine frame. But we're going to be upgrading the jetpack. Not for a little bit, because we do need to get to the next jetpack. We need to use some nuclear fuel here. Some uranium to make one of these things. This here maybe? What is it? Well, we're not looking at the right one, so that's why I can't find it. But here we need to make the uranium, which we are not all set up for just yet. So tier 1 is as high as we can go, but we will be upgrading this thing. And also we're going to start adding flux capacitors onto our tools. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I've been making one of these resonant machine frames here. Because why not? We're going to upgrade the machine anyways. We may as well just start with an upgraded one. So I've been working on this for a while. I mean, we do 400 RF per tick these days, which is pretty good. So this is just taking a little bit. It's been on here for maybe about a half an hour, maybe a little less probably. But it's cooking away, and when it's ready, we'll be ready to go. But I do have a bunch of these basic machine frames because I can still wear it anyways. I don't know if it does the armor reduction when it doesn't have any power at all. But in any case, I've been working on the basic machine frames because making this guy, well, you know, the Inderium, we need the shiny ingots, and we really don't have a lot of them because we don't have a way to make the cinnabar that we need to put into the wherever it is, somewhere on here. We put this into the ferrous ore and we get the shiny ingots. And that's our best way of getting shiny ingots right now. Here we go. That's our best way. It's 100%. But the cinnabar is not easy for us to make just yet because, well, I've been pulverizing all of the gold ore that we get, and we occasionally get one, and that's how we've got all of our shiny ingots so far, pretty much. But what we want to do is make this gelid cryothium to go into the cinnabar. So I'm going to work on a setup to automatically make gelid cryothium. Because when you look down here, I've done a little bit of work to our storage system. Over here, I've got the items pumping in automatically from the quarry, or from the turtle, I guess, which will eventually be a quarry. We'll use the same chest. And for right now, I've got a filter here. So the cobblestone, the dirt, the gravel, and the sand all go into this chest here. And this chest pumps directly into our storage drawer controller down below here. And it pumps right into here. And I've got these compacting drawers started to set up here, which is why I've got these items going into it. The compacting drawers, from what I can tell, I haven't tested it out, I don't know for sure, but it uses the, you can see up in the tooltip, it shows the double compressed, the compressed, and the cobblestone. Or I guess that's not the tooltip, but up in Wayla. And right now, we've got, like, I don't know, tens of thousands of cobblestone in here probably, but it's only showing 238 of the double compressed because, you know, once you get it all compressed up. And these controllers here, the compacting drawers, say they can hold up to 16 stacks. But I think that that's 16 stacks of the most compressed form. See, some's coming in here and then it goes ahead and it compresses it more and more. And I think that it's the most compressed form that it can take the stacks of, which means you can get a ton of stuff into here, a lot more than you can get into these drawers. And it's also nice for sometimes you need the blocks, the ingots, the nuggets. So we're going to do it down here for a bunch of these. This is probably all we're going to do for the building blocks because these are the only ones that can compress. I'm thinking of maybe doing it for like redstone and lapis just because we get so much of it. And we do use the redstone blocks occasionally. So we'll see how many of these we end up making. I've got a bunch set up here, but it takes a ton of cobblestone to make these guys. It's like, I don't know, 7 times 4. So it's like 20 something, no, like 12,000 cobblestone just to make one drawer. Which chewed down the barrel that we had over there had like 300 stacks of cobblestone, and it only made us 7 drawers. That's how much it takes. So I mean, the turtle's gathering up more, and eventually I'll be able to make all of these and rearrange it. But for now, this is how far we got. But what I want to do over here is, because we're starting to sort things as they come in, so next I'm going to add a sorting pipe here to another ender chest that's going to pull in all of the ferrous ore in the cinnabar and just automatically process it into the shiny ore for us. So that is our project for today, and that's why I've got a bunch of machine frames, because the things that we need to make that happen are all going to take the machine frame. So I've got, I think, one set up here. The glacial precipitator is the first thing we need, because if we go back to looking at the cinnabar, or I guess we can just bring up the cryotheum, right? So we have to make the cryotheum dust and then magma crucible fluid transposer it down to be able to use it. So the first thing we need is the snowballs and the blitz powder. And we're going to have to find a way to make salt, pepper, or knitter. So we'll figure that out. Electrotine, we get plenty of that coming in. And the blitz powder, we can use the fluid transposer into the snowballs. So 2 snowballs per recipe basically is what it takes. I think I figured out it's 2 snowballs, 2 redstone, a knitter, and an electrotine will give us 1 gelid cryotheum. And you need, well, 1 cryotheum dust, and you need 2 cryotheum dust somewhere around there going in to make the cinnabar. I don't know. We're going to figure out the whole process, but it all starts with making these snowballs. So that's what this guy is set up for. Now, I've never used one of these machines, so I've got this all set up here, and I made a little room for it to go into. As you see here, the castle we're going to divide into little sort of, not fully going to be separate rooms, but little like laboratory areas. I don't know exactly how we're going to do it, but I don't know. I like this block array. And now once we get the jetpack, we'll be able to fly around easily. I mean, we will put a roof on here eventually, but I didn't want it to feel like a closed off castle, because generally, I don't know, I've never been in a castle, but I feel like they're nice big open areas. They're not all closed in and dungeony. So that's kind of what I'm trying to keep with here. And I brought out power over here that'll go into each thing. So I just want to get this guy hooked up and see what he looks like. Yeah, so it looks like you're just going to be able to pump in water, and electricity will make the snowballs, or I guess RF, whatever. It's electricity to me. So that will make the snowballs. So we just have to find a way to pump in water. And I don't know if maybe just underneath here we'll do an infinite water source and a world interaction upgrade on one of those nodes. Or maybe we'll use like an aqueous accumulator. Not totally sure yet. Haven't put that much thought into how we'll get the water in there. But I guess that's the next step, is getting water into this guy. And actually, you know what? I made a bunch of machine frames, so we may as well go with the aqueous accumulator, just because they're nice and easy to do. So we just need a bucket, some glass, some copper gear, and this guy here. So let me put some of these together and get him set up. Okay, it's been a while longer. I think I've got everything we need. It's been about that much longer, and we've got a lot of machines. So let's see if we can do this. So we have snowballs. What we need to make it well is a bunch more things. So let's just bring up the cryotheum. And we need to make the knitter as well as being able to melt the cryotheum. So let's do this one step at a time. First, we are going to need an igneous extruder. And that is going to... Oh, I hate how these machines bounce around once you place one. So the igneous extruder is going to make cobblestone for us. So that's easy enough. We just put that in there, and can we get... Oh, I made the aqueous accumulator already and put it down there. Is there a way to get water out of it though? I don't want to take that source block. Well, for now I guess it's good enough. So that'll just make cobblestone for us, and that'll be fine. And then what we need to do is pulverize the cobblestone. So we'll put that there, and this is going to output on that side. This is going to input on this side to pulverize the cobblestone, which is going to get us the knitter. So let's put this on here and get that over here so that can start working. Now these machines are going to start doing a whole bunch of stuff for a while when we first hook it up, and then they're going to basically just fill up with their things and not do it anymore. So that's the knitter production. We have the snowball production here. Now we need to put together, we need the snowball to go into the fluid transposer with the redstone. So put down a magma crucible. We are running out of space now, aren't we? Magma crucible and fluid transposer. Now we're gonna have to figure out a way to get redstone in here. That is going to be the hardest part. And I guess we probably want these on separate sides because the snowballs are coming out just to our left and they're gonna go into the fluid transposer. So let's put that there, and let's put that there. And our cyclic assembler is gonna be like the last piece. And we'll put him here because we can run pipes under the floor here. So now we need to, I should have brought some redstone, but it's fine. So we need to pull out snowballs, and snowballs need to go into here. So we accept them from there and we eject them from there. So let's see how that does. Okay, and now if this had redstone in it, it would already be going. So let's hook these up to the power as well. Yeah, I put one in the middle here. Figured it would look kind of better if it was like spider webby like that. I don't know. I figured them all pulling from over there. It doesn't really matter. I'm probably going to do pipes underground for these guys anyways. It's going to take a while for them to fill up because these are just the medium voltage, and you know, this guy's going to run for a while. Getting us the sand, we're going to have to figure out something to do with the gravel. Actually, we'll just kick that back into the system because once the ingots and everything are made, it's going to kick it back into the system anyways. We actually do need one more fluid transposer and magma crucible to be able to put... Oh no, this is just crafting. Okay. And then, yeah, we're going to need one to put it into the cryothium dust into the cinnabar. So I will guess I'll make up one more of those guys, and we'll see you right back. Great. It looks like our machine frame has finished. So now we can finally get a jetpack on. So let's head down here. I think one of these tables down here has the machine just about ready to go. And energetic infuser resonant. Now let's go plug this guy in. Now this is way overkill for this jetpack, which can only hold 25 KRF. So it should charge up pretty quick. And well, later on we'll be glad that we have a powerful one, but for now it's, well, a little overkill. So there we go. This guy is going to take forever to fill up because that's a lot of RF compared to what we can produce, but this should fill up pretty quick. Well, actually we're limited to how quickly this jetpack can accept power, more so than how quickly this can output power. So that's fine though. Let's put this guy on and go for a fly. Okay, hover mode's turned off, so let's not kill ourselves. So I guess let's see what it looks like from up here. Yeah, I used two different blocks for the walls over there because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Look at all the flowers from the bees. That's funny. I need to figure out the hotkey for hover mode. But wow, I mean, that is quite a few flowers. A nice little dye factory we've got over there. Let's get down and try not to kill ourselves. And there we go. So I used two different blocks for the top of the wall here, and from here they look the same, and from up top they look different. So I don't know which one we're going to go with. But enough of that. So I misspoke a little bit in the last segment because we needed another cyclic assembler, because I said we were going to get knitter from pulverizing the cobblestone. Not exactly the way it's going to work. We are going to get it from turning the sand into sandstone and pulverizing sandstone. So that's how it's going to happen. Let's set these outputs up the right way. And let's shut this off. So this is just going to be making sandstone for us. If we can get this turned on. There we go. So that, and now we need to put in a schematic and teach it what to do. Where does the schematic go? It's been so long. Yeah, it goes there. How did the sand get in there? That's really strange. I've never seen that happen before. Anyways, so we teach it to make sandstone, and then we give it power. And there we go. Now this guy should fill up with sandstone pretty quickly, because we do have a bunch of sand here in reserve that for some reason is not getting pushed. Okay, it's pushing out. It's just taking a while. So that is that, and then we're going to output this into another pulverizer, which I have prepared for us. And this guy is also going to need power. Yeah, this is going to be a power-hungry setup, but that's fine. With those culinary generators, we are producing more than enough power. So this is going to go in here and pulverize, and it's going to give us the occasional knitter and some sand. So what we, see the knitter is going to come out of there. So what we need to do is set an output for that, for the extra slot. This sand we can pump back into the cyclic assembler and whatever. So we'll set that all up later, and then we have gravel over here somewhere that we're going to have to pump back into a chest. I'll get all that stuff situated off camera, but now I just kind of want to get the basics running. So we've got our knitter coming out of there. Over here we should, we're getting our blitz powder. So what else? Let me bring back up the cryothium. Let me spell it correctly. And so cryothium, so the electrotine we have to figure out how to pump in, but that's fine. So now I think we're going to go underneath all of these machines and start doing the outputs, because I haven't left us much room. So I'm going to do all the outputs and put this cyclic assembler back over here, because that's the one that's going to end up making our stuff for us. Actually, wait, no. What do we, oh, okay, yeah, over here I set up the last part. So actually, let's move this guy over here. I know this is a long process. I know that I'm doing this a very long-winded way, but it's kind of on purpose because I want everything to just sort of happen automatically. So these are all the machines. Let me get them all wired up, and then we'll take a look at how it's going to work. Alright guys, so I've got everything looking good. Sorta. So it's all set up and all working. It's just not really the prettiest setup in the world. So let me walk you through it. First we have the magma crucible here, and this is accepting redstone in the back. Green pipe only allows redstone in. This melts down redstone. We'll just put a block in so that we can see it. This melts down the redstone, outputs it to the left, which puts it into our fluid transposer, which puts this into snowballs, as it's doing right now. And then this will create the, what is it, blitz powder, I think? Yep, blitz powder. And that's pushed down the bottom, which travels over here to our cyclic assembler that we'll get to in a minute. And then this is just making snowballs here, pushing snowballs into the fluid transposer for this to use, and pushing snowballs into the cyclic assembler that we'll see in a moment. This is just creating cobblestone for us, putting it into the pulverizer to give us sand. The sand is being pushed into the assembler over here, the second of the assemblers, which is set up to create sandstone out of 4 sand. And then it pushes the sandstone into the pulverizer here, which pulverizes it up and gives us knitter and what else? And sand. And then the sand comes out, the knitter comes out the bottom and goes into the cyclic assembler that we're going to look at in a second. And the sand goes out the back and pushes back in to the back of our cyclic assembler to be reused. Cool. So it only gives, when it pulverizes, it gives it 2 sand back. So, you know, that's why we do still need this pulverizer making sand for us, because there is some loss here. So then we have our cyclic assembler that I've filled up with gravel, which isn't being put in here, so that there's only enough room for 1 stack, because I don't want this to fill up with like a ton of the bliss powder, mainly because it's expensive to make. The other stuff is fine, whatever. Knitter is now free. So that's what's going on back here. I've got the assembler, I've got the schematic here to use 1 knitter, 1 electrotine. Is that how you say electrotine? That's what I've been calling it. 1 snowball, 1 bliss powder, which gives us a cryothium dust. I pulled that out right now because we're going to put it in a minute and watch this go. And then it pushes the cryothium dust out the side into our magma crucible, which melts it down, which puts it into the fluid transposer. See, there's a little bit in here. And then in the back of the fluid transposer, I am accepting the cinnabar to go in here, because when you put one in there, it fills it up. Okay, we did have enough. So that, and then it pushes it out the side here into our induction smelter here, which gives us, when we put 1 ferrous ore in, will give us a shiny ingot. Boom, cool. So it also gave us a ferrous, but that's coming out the bottom here. I haven't put a chest for the extras to go into. So that's all sorted here. Ferrous goes in there, cinnabar goes in there, and the electrotine goes in here. So this is going to eventually be an ender chest here, which is going to accept our ferrous, our cinnabar, our electrotine, and our redstone dust. And as we saw over here, the redstone dust goes in the back. So that's what that's going to be. And then I separated the lines here with just some micro blocks, because then our separate line is what's going into the cyclic assembler here, as well as a separate line pulling out the extras, like the excess gravel that we're creating somewhere here. The gravel we're creating here is getting pulled out the back, which we can't really see, but okay, yeah, we can see it here. So this is just filled with gravel because it doesn't have anywhere to go right now. And then it's going to go into our storage drawer system along with the shiny ingots. So I'm going to set up that ender chest in a second, but I just wanted to take a look at all this and watch this work. So we put in, I guess we should break this down a little bit, right? So let's get a bit of this here, and we put this into the chest, because this is going to be our accepting ender chest here. And we'll put some of that in. What's clogged up in here right now? Yes, the cinnabar. Why did the cinnabar get in there in the first place? I might have put that in there by accident. Okay, that's not a big deal. So the redstone is going to go in here, and the electrotine is going to go in here. So I guess we're going to also want to put these guys in, because once those go, and we put the schematic in here, it's going to make these really quick. And see, this is the problem. It ran out of the snowballs here, and so now if like the knitter finds it first, it would fill up that, and that's not what I want to happen. You know, I want 1 slot for each. See, the knitter did find it. But that's not going to end up being a big deal in the long run, because eventually everything in here is going to be completely full, and only once you get a ferrous ore in here is it going to actually do anything, and everything else is just going to be built up and waiting. So that's not going to ever be a problem. So redstone's taking a while to find it. I mean, the pipes are long and twisty, so it does take a while to find it, but it will find it, as we'll see. Oh, and I think it just did now. Yeah, see, it put the 45 in there, so it's cooking down, and it's making some more stuff. We just kind of have to babysit this, yep, to make sure that the extra things aren't going to fill up. The snowballs kind of, because there's only 16 in a stack, it just runs through them as soon as it gets them. And it's kind of being annoying trying to do that, but let me just grab some snowballs and put it in, because it won't be too long here before this is filled up. Yeah, this is almost full already, and then this will fill up, and this will fill with a stack of 64, and then this will fill with a stack of 64, and then we don't have to worry about babysitting this, because it'll just always be completely full. But I'm hoping somewhere along the line here pretty quickly, the cinnabar should be finding its way into the fluid transposer. Yep, we did set that up right, so it shouldn't be too long now. And then the ferrous will just get pushed into here. And I have the 2 color slots because I don't want obviously it's going to make a lot more cinnabar. Here we go. It's going to make a lot more cinnabar and just always be waiting for it. And I didn't want it to fill up both slots. We need to leave one open for the ferrous, like you just found right there. So that is the process all fully completed. Now it's just going to be a whole lot of redstone, and that's really the only thing that it's going to cost us to fill up all of this is a bunch of redstone. And I guess a good amount of the cinnabar ore, but really who cares about that? That's why I made these blocks, just so we can get the whole system full up of that. And then also we have a bunch of our stuff over here that we haven't processed, so some cinnabar there. I guess let's just use all this because this has just been sitting around waiting for some sort of automated process. So as you see, we have plenty of cinnabar. It's going to be able to fill up very easily. I'm just going to put it directly in here to save time for the transfer node searching for it. So what happened here? Yep, see, now we filled up with snowballs before we had a chance to get the blitz powder in. So that's fine. I'm going to, I guess, babysit all of this until everything is completely full, and then we will have another look at it once it's all full up and just in its idle state waiting for ferrous ores. And I think I'm going to patch up the floor now that we've seen how it all works. And the back walls. Well, this is looking a lot better now. It's just finishing up filling everything. One thing I don't like, and I think I'm going to have to do something different at the bottom. On the back here where we have all the pipes, I used the micro blocks, and it doesn't connect the texture with the rest of this. So I'll figure out something to do to make that look a little bit better. But we're basically filled up here. We got a full block here. We got a full thing here. We're full here. All of the cryothium dust is all full up, and it's filling up here. The knitter is still being produced. So we're looking good. The redstone is still going because this hasn't fully filled the blizz powder, but this is going to go over time and it'll be fine. So basically what I've done, I mean, when the turtle, right now this is for the turtle, later on it'll be for quarry, whatever else. Ferrous ore is not all that common, so you're not going to get a whole bunch of it dumped into the ender chest at once. I mean, you might get like 4 or 5 at once at the most. So we're going to just simulate that and throw the 4 in here, and it's going to end up going fine because it's going to chew this down here, which is going to make space for a cinnabar. And so a new cinnabar will get created here, which leaves a little bit of space in here for some cryothium to get melted down. And there it goes there, which leaves a little space here for one more of these to be created. So we're not going to run into the problem we were before where it was filling up the wrong spaces with a whole bunch of other stuff, because it's only going to use a few of them at a time here. See, we went through all of that, got a bunch of shiny in there, and it really didn't cause any other problems. So these are going to be able to keep full all the time now, and this thing is probably needs more redstone. Nope. It just is going to take a little bit more time to fill up these stacks and then fill up the where they're coming from. You know, this will fill with knitter, that'll fill with the blizz powder. But this is pretty much all completely ready to go once I get an ender chest set up for it. And I think the way I'm going to do the ender chest, I'm not going to do that today. I'll just do that between episodes. I'm going to set transfer nodes out the back of these storage drawers once I finish them. And all the storage drawers, like out the back of this one, I'm going to have a transfer node that's pulling out of it with a filter to only pull out redstone. And redstone is going to have its own ender chest. Because, well, ender chests are basically free. All the supplies, we're getting to the point now where stuff is pretty much free. It's just kind of crafting it and getting there. But the turtle's digging up so much stuff for us that it's not really that big of a deal. So out the back here, we'll have a transfer node. Out here we will. Electrotine will have its own ender chest as well. And that'll just kind of fill in up there. So there'll be the 2 ender chests for that. And then down here will be the separate one where the cinnabar and the ferrous ore is going to come in, probably right here. I'll put a sorting pipe. But I mean, as you see, like, we've got tons of redstone. There's a few thousand here, a few thousand is already in the drawers there. and I've got all of this stuff to process here. I mean, it is just backing up and filling up everywhere, so I'm not all that worried about having individual ender chests that are going to fill up with it. We're not going to be able to access an ender chest behind here that's going to be full of redstone, but we have so much in the system that we're never going to need all of that all at once. So that's the way that'll work. Then we'll never have an issue, because what I was thinking, if we pump all of the stuff into one ender chest, it's going to kind of get filled up, but then the transfer node coming out the back, whatever it grabbed last is just going to always be in the transfer node. It's not going to be able to push into the machines, and that's going to create a problem. So each one's going to get its own. I'll just bury it in the floor here, and we'll pump it into the pipes that we saw behind here, and that'll pretty much take care of it. So this project is basically done. And now that we've got a ton of shiny ingots, we're going to make a ton of Enderium and just start pumping out resonant machine frames and all sorts of other stuff. So that's why the ender chest is basically not a problem now, because we've got a ton of shiny ingots in here, and that's what was limiting us from using ender chests and all of that stuff before. And it is no longer. So I'm going to get all of that prepared, and I figured out my buttons for the jetpack. So we're going to go for a little fly here. We're going to see what it all looks like from way up in the sky. I mean, I think our area looks pretty nice. Over here does. And there's just, I mean, a lot of space out here that we're going to fill up and just keep filling up. So I don't know how far we're going to go. See the wheat farm over there. I don't think you can see off in the distance where we have the, we're just coming into view here now, where that big meteor is. That's going to be probably coming up very soon, our nuclear reactor. And I think that might be something we work on in the next couple of episodes, because we really do need to start getting that uranium and the iridium processed and all of that whole thing. That just, it takes a while. And we're going to hop into it pretty soon here. So that's going to be all for now. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.